Located around the Eastern African region, the Simien Kingdom, sometimes referred to as the Kingdom of Beta Israel, refers to a probably legendary Jewish kingdom said to have been located in the northwestern part of the Ethiopian Empire. The existence of such a kingdom somewhere in the Horn of Africa was first mentioned by the traveler Benjamin of Tudela in the 12th century. But a late Ethiopian Jewish legend dates the establishment of the kingdom of Simien to the 4th century, right after the kingdom of Aksum turned to Christianity during the reign of Ezana. According to modern Beta Israel tradition, their forefathers' land was called the Kingdom of the Gideons, after the name of a putative dynasty of Jewish kings that are said to have ruled it. Eldad Hadani mentioned that the tribe of Dan was exiled voluntarily and established an independent kingdom. Between the 15th century and the early 17th century, the Ethiopian Empire referred to the kingdom as Falasha. Another name that was very common in the 16th and 17th centuries was the Kingdom of Simien, given to the kingdom after the area which it dominated after it lost control over the regions of Dembia and Wigera. Beta Israel consisted of farmers and artisans as well as a religious hierarchy, including a class of ascetic high priest and lay priest. In Ge'ez, a Semitic tongue that became the main liturgical language of Beta Israel. Melakswatch lived separately and adhered to strict purity laws that prohibited physical contact with the laity. On rare occasions, when they came into contact with regular community members, the Melakswatch would purify themselves by immersing themselves in water or changing their clothes. Both types of priests performed the animal sacrifices according to biblical decree, a practice that lasted into the 20th century in Ethiopia, long after it had been abandoned in the rest of the Jewish world. The community developed in isolation from the rest of the Jewish diaspora until the 19th century, when they began having wide-scale contact with outsiders. Ethiopian Jews were unaware of rabbinical texts such as the Mishnah and Talmud that formed the heart of Jewish practice in the rest of the world. These texts were composed between the 3rd and 6th centuries, long after the Torah was completed, mainly in Israel and Babylon in present-day Iraq, which was a center of Jewish scholarship at the time. The Mishnah and Talmud marked the evolution of Judaism from a religion centered on sacrifice to one based on prayer. Without these texts, Beta Israel developed their liturgy and a hierarchy of priests, including the Melakswatch and the Keshots, who had families and lived in the general community. The Beta Israel living in and around Gondar experienced reduced demand for their skills in the 19th century, after the city was sacked by rebel forces and the Solomonic dynasty moved their capital east to Mekelle in the 1880s. By the early 20th century, the number of Melakswatch had dropped significantly compared with accounts recorded just a few decades earlier. With the decline of the Melakswatch, the Gesach replaced them in the religious leadership and took charge of educating and consecrating the next generation of priests.